Our national investigative team finds some states are ignoring federal guidance to set age limits for all-terrain vehicles. Factfinder investigator Rachel DePompa looks at the vehicles sending 100,000 Americans to the ER each year and how one mom is turning her own pain into change for other families with the riding right.
Let them know we got a 10-year-old unresponsive male.
In the headlines almost daily.
5-year-old girl was killed in an accident involving a UTV.
Children injured or killed on ATVs.
He was sweet. We loved him so much.
I didn't even know what. I just kept praying to God, please, just please, I hope they are alive.
Between 2016 and 2020, the Consumer Product Safety Commission estimates about 140,000 children under the age of 16 ended up in emergency rooms for ATV-related injuries. That's the equivalent of every child in the state of Wyoming going to an ER for just that one reason. From doctors to federal regulators to even ATV manufacturers. For years, they've all agreed on one premise. Children should not ride ATVs designed for adults.
Little did we know that we would send her to a friend's house and she would never come back.
Ashley Briggenschmidt didn't know her 11-year-old daughter, Kate, would even be on an ATV, much less driving it.
She was very, very inexperienced. She had never driven an ATV before.
In 2015, Kate went to a friend's house in between softball games.
Kate was driving an adult-sized ATV with one of her teammates on the back. Neither of them were wearing helmets.
The ATV tipped over. Kate's teammate jumped off the back. Kate couldn't, and the ATV rolled over and landed on her head.
I thought she had been in a car accident. An ATV crash never crossed my mind.
11-year-old Kate died instantly.
Do you think ATVs are dangerous?
I think if ATVs are not driven properly, they are dangerous. If they're not wearing the proper safety gear, or if they're riding one that is too big for them. I mean, Kate weighed 75 pounds, and she was on a machine that weighed 750.
Every ATV now comes with these stickers, warning labels from the manufacturer listing a minimum age. This sticker is typically on the full-sized vehicles. It says, no children under 16. We examined ATV laws all across this country. They vary greatly, all the way down to the county level. We found at least 40 states lack restrictions that would stop a child younger than 16 from operating an ATV. 13 states have no age limit at all, and we found 9 states still don't have helmet laws on the books.
It's really confusing, like the hodgepodge of state laws.
For 20 years, Rachel Weintraub was the legislative director and general counsel for the Consumer Federation of America.
We know what we need to do to make these vehicles safer, for these numbers to go down dramatically. We really need to think about the best ways to ensure that children are on vehicles that are the right size and powerfulness for them.
For the Consumer Product Safety Commission, ATVs remain the most dangerous discretionary use product for children.
ATVs and side-by-sides together are responsible for the most number of deaths in our jurisdiction.
We found the agency's recalled a total of 270 types of ATVs over the last 23 years. That's more recalls than it's issued on types of refrigerators, candles, and cribs.
And I use these products. I wouldn't want them going away at all, but I do want to make sure that if me and my child are in one, we're going to be safe.
So this is Kate.
Ashley has turned her loss of Kate into a legacy. There's an inclusive playground in her memory, a foundation, a new helmet law in Indiana, and an education campaign. With Safety Sam and Safety Sarah, robots who educate kids. They're wearing helmets with all the appropriate safety gear on child-sized ATVs The difference from an adult size is striking.
I feel like ATVs are safe and they're fun, and I'm not anti-ATV. I just want them to be driven safely.